welcome back to the Toffee Waffle podcast. This is episode 11, and today we are doing a review of every team in the Premier League. So we're also going to do the teams that have just gone up because it's just a few hours after the playoff final is finished, and Ethan is fuming that Brentford have lost and will not be in the Premier League next season. He's developed a bit of a soft spot for them over the past few weeks. But he's let them down, just like Everton do. So it's a perfect match.
Shut yourselves in. This will be a long video.
Yeah, I was going to say, we'll get onto all of that towards the end. We'll let Ethan's feelings brew throughout the whole thing. So, but we're going to go alphabetically, so we'll just dive straight in with Arsenal. Let's talk about Arsenal.
Let's just get the elephant in the room out of the way, right? They have massively underachieved this season.
Oh yeah, definitely.
That's it. They've just underachieved. They've spent so much money on players like Pepe and Salah.
Yeah, Salah's not been there this season. Salah will come back next season.
David Luiz, a waste of money.
Yep, that was a poor signing.
That Martinelli, though, he looks like a steal, to be fair.
Yep. Was that last summer? Bloody hell, it feels like he's been there for ages.
To be fair, they did get a good deal in getting rid of the players. I think they've done well in getting Danny Welbeck off the wage budget, of course.
Yep.
He wasn't in there. Shelney, another one.
Yep.
And of course, Alex Iwobi. £34 million.
Well, yeah, I mean, they've got a right steal there, haven't they?
Mkhitaryan, Lichtsteiner, just to name a few. So they've brought out a lot of money, but they've not invested it wisely, I think.
Well, I think it remains to be seen how well they've invested. I'd say Arsenal are going through a bit of a transitional season this year. They sacked Emery.
Martinelli's already worth it. Tierney looks promising.
Yeah, Tierney looks good.
Pepe.
I think the jury's still out on Pepe. I think it's too early to judge. But, I mean, you would expect more from a £70 million player, in fairness, than what he's given this season.
And David Luiz is a liability.
David Luiz is a poor signing.
And then, obviously, like you said, Salah is out on loan, wasn't he? But they started the season with Unai Emery.
Yep.
I never even heard of him before he came. I'm going to be honest. I know he's done a lot, but I've never heard of him.
I think we got linked to him quite a few years ago. I think maybe after Koeman got sacked.
But
we dodged a bullet there, haven't we?
Now Arteta's come in. They seem to have booked up their ideas. Won the FA Cup, of course. No one thought they'd win it. City, Chelsea and United.
I didn't think they beat City, but I backed them to beat Chelsea, to be fair. I just thought they'd won it more. Then they've got Europa League football again next season.
I think most Arsenal fans looking before lockdown would 100% take Europa League this season.
Oh yeah, 100%.
And are they still in the Europa League? They were never in it, were they?
They got knocked out. They got knocked out around the first.
It was Olympiacos. Yeah. Aubameyang missed that sitter.
Yeah. Well, speaking of Aubameyang, it is vital they keep hold of him. I think Shabazz is only on loan. I think it's crucial they try and sign him up. He looks a very good player. I think.
If not, I reckon they can get Isco. I reckon he's a similar player.
Maybe.
He's not really being used by Madrid. I reckon he'd do well for them. Coutinho has been linked with him as well.
Yeah, someone like that. Maybe just someone. Shabazz seems to me like what we expect Gomez to be like. That kind of fluid midfielder that kind of pulls all the strings. And I think, I don't know, I think Isco and Coutinho might be a bit too attack-minded for that. But I think the player's there. I don't think Real Madrid want him that much. So I think right amount of money. I think he could be
but he's been inconsistent. I've seen Arsenal fans on Twitter, don't sign him, all this. And then other games, sign him up. That game against Burnley stands out in particular. It's one of his first games. He's brilliant. So, next season, I think they'll Europa League again.
I was going to say, I can't see them breaking the top four next season, but I think maybe is a realistic target for them.
Another season or two under Arteta. His signings, the way he wants to play his football. Again, we could see the old Arsenal return.
Yeah, you look at players like Saka, Maitland-Niles, even Martinelli, good, solid youngsters.
Willock as well.
And I think priority's got to be strengthening that defence. Like you say, Louise is not good enough. Socrates is too old. Saliba is a bit too early to rely on him.
I love the way you didn't mention Mustafi at all.
Well, Mustafi's not been that bad this season. I don't think he's good enough to be a starter, but I think he could be a decent squad player. If I was Arsenal, I'd be definitely looking to try and get David Luiz out the door. But
I think he signed a new contract.
Might have done. But yeah, he did. I remember everyone laughing about it.
After the City game as well, everyone was fuming.
Yeah. But regardless, that central defensive position in particular definitely needs strength for them. And then I'd say there's a promising young manager, and I think next
I
year
hope he does well.
Me too. I like Arteta.
I like him, even in the circumstances he left us.
Yeah,
he did so much for us.
Definitely one of the better players we've had that I've seen anyway.
Yeah, him and Cahill in the middle, back in the day.
Yeah.
We've talked about these enough.
Yeah, that's Arsenal out of the way. Aston Villa.
Aston Villa spent a lot of money.
A lot of money, yeah.
A lot of money.
But that's what you've got to do to make the transition from the Championship to the Premier League, to be fair.
But I don't think they have the resources to show for it.
Maybe not.
For how much they've spent, I don't think they've got value for player. They've signed a lot of players for their most expensive signing being 22 million on Wesley. So you can see they've signed, I think, 10 or so players. To be fair, they've spent about 100 million. For 10 players, that's not bad. But are the players going to perform to the Premier League standard? That's the question. And this season, they haven't.
I think it's a minor miracle that they managed to stay up. I think that was extraordinary. They looked dead and buried a few weeks into lockdown, into the return even from lockdown. But they managed to stay up. I think I like Dean Smith as a manager.
I don't. I think he's got passion, but I can't watch Villa. They're too boring.
I think they're just. I think the defence is particularly poor. I think people rave about Tyrone Mings, but I think the fact that
I like that. I like the players they signed. The centre back that he scored against us, didn't he? Was he Konsa?
Yeah,
I think he's better than Mings. I think
he might very well be.
Calvert-Lewin struggled more on his side when we played him. I think we mentioned it.
Yeah, we did.
With Mings, I think he's better than Mings, and he's young. He's got age on his side as well. So I think the centre back as a duo is sorted.
Yeah, maybe.
It's everywhere else. It's goalkeeper especially stands out.
Goalkeeper is a massive and a weak spot for Villa. It always has been. They've been through 6 or 7 over the last 2 years. So he went for about 4 last season in the Championship. Pepe Reina's definitely got the answer. He's one of the.
Heaton looked good, but obviously he had an injury.
Yep. But yeah, a massive emergency buy was Pepe Reina. And I think the elephant in the room is that they need to keep hold of Grealish. I think.
Of course.
I think
they will.
I think that'll be make or break for their season. I reckon now they've stayed up, he might give them 1 more year. But at the same time, if a good enough offer comes in, I could see him leaving, go somewhere like Spurs, something like that.
I think a few clubs have been put off by their valuation of him, haven't they?
Yeah.
Because United definitely have. I know that. 80 million. I think they've got their eyes set on Sancho. We'll touch on that later.
Yeah. It's a bit like a Harvard Palace situation, which we'll also get into in a bit. They value their star players so highly that teams just can't face paying that much for them because
he's not worth it at all.
They're not. That's how much they're worth to their club, but they wouldn't be worth that much to a new club, a better club. So, I think you might be right. I think Grealish might give it 1 more year. I don't know. I think with the right signings, like I said, I'd back Dean Smith. I think there'll be teams weaker than them next season, and I think
100%.
I could see them finishing higher than 17th. I could see them pushing on as long as they keep hold of their best players and invest well. So
yeah,
I'm intrigued to see what Villa do next season. I think that's one of the more interesting sides. So Bournemouth went down, of course.
Wow.
I mean,
Ever since they've come up, they've just been run incredibly poorly. Like, can you name one Premier League signing they've made that is proven to be quality?
Nathan Ake, you're going to get 40 million for him.
All right, okay, you've got me there.
I think that's very harsh. The fact
I
that
didn't think of him.
the fact that a team like Bournemouth has stayed in the Premier League for 5 years, I think, is a bit of a miracle. And I think we'll start to see that. I can't. If they come up next season, come back up next season, I will be so surprised, especially now they've got rid of Eddie Howe.
Yeah, he's a miracle worker. He is.
Yeah,
how he's got that club from where they were to where they are now, or where they were. Yeah. Anyway, and now he's gone. I think the only way is down for them.
Yeah, it really is some story, but like I said, I think the fairy tale is coming to an end now. I think they'll struggle. Yeah. I think they'll struggle in the Championship. I could see them becoming another Wigan, another Bolton, another Blackburn, wherever you want, like hovering
Unfortunately, didn't all live happily ever after.
No, it's a poetic way to put it, but
yeah.
I could see a lot of their big players being poached. I've seen us being linked to Josh King the last few days, for a cut price, 10 million. I'd take a chance on him for 10 million. You know,
I'd take that. Yeah, of course. But I think I saw a stat the other day. They owe 80 million still on transfers.
Money wise. One thing I will give you is they've invested very poorly. A lot of their signings they've made have been overpriced and, like you say, not given enough back.
Solanke, Ibe, I've got on the screen here, Kelly. I don't even know who it is. Lloyd Kelly, they paid £13 million for him. Dan Juma, another one. Again, don't know who he is. Billing. I like him. I think he's good.
I saw people saying
I don't think he's £15 million worth good.
No, do I. Yeah, I think Bournemouth overstretched themselves. I think they had ideas a bit above their station, and I think that the Eddie Howe thing is weird to me because the phrase was mutual consent, but I think teams usually do that when they say we're sacking you, but you've done so much for the club that we're not going to just say, "Oh, we've sacked you," because it's too overly harsh. And
why would they sack him? I don't understand.
I don't know.
It's weird. And another one there, right? I'm sorry to go back to it, but on the screen I've got Brad Smith has gone out on loan to Seattle Sounders. And how much did they pay for him?
It was 6 million, I think it was.
I don't think he's ever played for them.
No. Well, Liverpool will be gutted. They've gone down. The amount of money they've managed to rip them off for the last few years is just unbelievable.
Yeah, it's gone to Southampton, to Liverpool, to Bournemouth. It's mental.
Yeah. So, yeah,
it's a shame about Bournemouth, though.
Down and out. I've always liked Bournemouth, but
I don't like playing them.
No, we never win at their place. But they had run their toll this season. I think I said ideas above their station, and I think it's going to come back to bite them over the next few years.
Yeah.
Brighton.
Is it Brighton? Yeah.
I think they've slipped under the radar a bit this season. I know for a fact I predicted them to finish bottom. I thought getting rid of Houghton was a mental decision, and I didn't think they'd have enough to stay up this season. And yet Graham Potter has come in, and I think he's done a magnificent job.
He's done brilliant, yeah. And I think, although, again, going to transfers again, obviously, but it is a huge part of how the team's season happens. And Adam Webster, Trossard, and Morpay, and Moy, them 4 signings were instrumental to their season.
Brilliant signings. At least three of them out of there are just top quality signings. Trossard looks some player.
Yeah,
Moy's been brilliant.
Morpay, again, it's his first season. He's young. He's coming from the Championship, which is a massive step up. But to be fair, he's done well.
Yeah.
Moy is another smart signing. Not too spectacular, but needed to happen. And Webster, he's been solid at the back.
Mm-hmm. It looked like they'd overpaid ridiculous. What was it, 20 million? I think they might have paid for
20 million, yeah.
Yeah, I'm mental that they paid that much, and yet it seems to have paid off. He's had a really solid season, and you got the roots.
How could I forget? How could I forget Ben White is out on loan at Leeds at the moment?
Yeah.
Weeds.
Yeah, I don't know that he'll come. I assume he'll come back into the team next season.
I don't. I think he'll go.
Leeds might buy him.
I think they've still got loads of good players on loan as well. They got Knockout, like McAllister. He came back and made a few appearances.
Mm-hmm.
Overall, I think Brighton can stay in this Premier League. I reckon they're going to, over the next few seasons, going to establish themselves as a Premier League club, and they're going to be I reckon they'll go down soon. I can't see them staying in it for ages. They're going to be like a Swansea.
Yeah, one of them. Yeah. I think this season could be make or break for them because they've kind of been floating around this 15th, 16th position ever since they came back up. So now I think it's one of those seasons where they push and they either go up or they go down. So it's a make or break season for them, I think.
But I like Brighton. I don't mind Brighton.
I mean, I went to their ground a few years ago and I hated it. But they're overachievers, and you got to rate an underdog story. In a way, they're like the new Bournemouth. So
overachievers, like the next team we move on to, Burnley.
I mean, they define overachievers, really, don't they?
Yeah,
the fact they've come 10th, the fact they've come above us this season again, the second time they've done it in 3 seasons, is just extraordinary. Like,
crazy.
I'd rather scoop my own I'd rather scoop my own eyeballs out than watch that brand of football every single week. But there's no getting away from the fact that it works. It's effective.
Yeah. I wouldn't mind being a Burnley fan because Sean Dyche, however you say it, he gets Burnley. He knows what Burnley are about.
He's one of those managers. Same as Eddie Howe.
Perfect. It's a perfect fit.
They fit perfectly, and I think if he went anywhere else, it wouldn't work. But
yeah.
So that's why I've never wanted him when we've been linked to him. Same with Eddie Howe. But
I think they actually brought more money in than they spent last season as well, which is big for the club.
They don't have any stars. Who's their star player? Okay, you could argue Nick Pope maybe, but
they're all just a team, and they work
together work as a team.
Yeah,
just a unit.
And that's the way it should be.
Mm-hmm.
That's the way a solid Premier League mid-table, nothing. Europe, not pushing up to Europe, not pushing to relegation. Just that's what you want to be at the moment. As a Burnley fan, that's where I'd want to be. Mid-table, no fear of relegation, but you don't want to go too high into Europe.
Yeah, every single Burnley fan would have taken 10th at the start of the season, 100%.
Because
they're a really strong end to the season.
In Europe, we felt it a few seasons ago. Depth kills you. Because the schedule for the qualifiers right at the start of the season when the players haven't got as much fitness as they should have, I'd be happy as a Burnley fan personally.
Yeah. Moving on to Chelsea, hard one to work out this. Because I think you could go either way with it. Because on the one hand, they had a new manager who's only had 1 season in management, which was in the Championship. Couldn't make any signings in the summer. And you look at that and you think every Chelsea fan would have taken 4th and would have taken getting into the Champions League. But the quality that their players have shown, you'd expect them to finish higher, I'd say.
Yeah.
I think they've lost a lot of games that they shouldn't have done. They've been very sloppy at times.
What's happened is the defence and the goalkeeper are not good enough. The midfield and attack, brilliant.
Yeah, and they're only strengthening that further at the moment.
Absolutely brilliant, yeah. And the
defence will be the next season. Werner will be the next season. They might even get Havertz.
Yeah, I can't see that one happening. To be honest,
going forward next season, they're going to be deadly. But
I genuinely think they made the right decision in selling Hazard when they did.
Yeah, they might very well have done. Hazard's really struggled this season. Replaced him with Pulisic, who's really started to come into his own last few months.
He looks like a good player, yeah.
Yeah, I think he'll excel even further. Mason Mount, established himself in the side. Tammy Abraham probably won't start as much next season now, but very solid backup to have.
Sorry.
So yeah, it's about getting in a new goalkeeper. I think Kepa's got to go.
Yeah,
I
reckon they need 1 or 2 centre backs. I think Rudiger's good enough for now, maybe. A left back's important as well. They're looking for that, aren't they?
Mm-hmm.
They'll have to Chilwell and Digne. They're not having Digne.
So after that, Real Madrid lad that we want as well now.
Oh yeah, Reg. Yeah, him.
Which I don't believe, by the way. I think
it's not true.
Rubbish that we've made an offer.
It's not true.
Yeah. Aspilicueta's getting on, so they're gonna have to replace him at some point.
Yeah, he's been brilliant.
Yeah, what a player he's been.
But they've made a massive profit this season. They sold Morata for 50 million, and they sold Hazard for 85. So no wonder they're spending it when they can. Exactly. I don't blame them at all. They brought Kovacic in for 40 million.
And he's proved to be a magnificent signing.
Yeah.
He's been excellent this year.
Yeah, and Pulisic for 50. Was it 50 odd?
Yeah, again, 50 odd, I think, yeah.
Could be brilliant, but could drop off. It depends on the extent of that injury in the FA Cup final a few days ago.
Yeah.
He looked like he was in pain, real pain.
Yeah. Pedro and Willian, I think, are both leaving now, aren't they? Pedro's already gone. Yeah. Willian's going to leave.
Yeah, he's going to Arsenal, I think.
So, yeah, it's a transition.
It's a weird one.
Could they win? Could they challenge for the league next season?
No, not next season. Too early, I think.
Too early.
Yeah. I think maybe 2022-23, that'll be the season where they really shine.
Mm-hmm. But yeah, I think they've got to stick by Lampard for at least a few years.
Yeah, if they don't stick by him, they're screwed. Yeah.
But,
because he knows what he wants to do. He knows his style of play. He knows what players he wants to bring in. And I think Chelsea fans, they want him.
Yeah, 100%.
I think they're happy with him.
I mean, who else gets the club more than Frank Lampard? Like, I could see Terry joining him as maybe an assistant in a few years or something. Like,
maybe.
Bringing in the old guard.
Where Dean Smith goes.
Start the new system.
I think he's already got Czech and Makalele involved, hasn't he?
Yeah, I think he does. Yeah.
At the moment. Yeah, so times look promising.
Yeah, I'd be excited if I was a Chelsea fan, definitely.
Yeah.
Right, Crystal Palace, this is an interesting one.
Right. They looked really, really good at the start of the season. And then, I don't know what happened, but they just went off the rails.
Yeah. Well, we'll do a predictions video at some point. And I'm saying now, I think Palace are going down next year. Because I think Zaha's going to leave. I think Zaha will go this summer. And I just think they'll really struggle to go. I can see Hodgson getting sacked quite early. And I don't know, I just don't think their team will be strong enough without him if he's not adequately replaced.
I don't think they'll go down, but I think it will definitely be like a poorly run club. Like it will be bad. I reckon they'll get money.
Regression next season.
I reckon they'll get money from Zaha. They won't know what to do with it, and they'll spend it on silly things that they don't need.
Yeah,
like we did when we signed Sigurdsson, Klassen, Rooney, Vlasic.
Yeah,
like we didn't need those players, and I think they'll do exactly the same, but they'll be worse off from it.
Yeah,
and I reckon they'll call their friend Big Sam to get him out of the scrap. He'll fail, sack him, hefty payout again, and there'll be a yo-yo team in the Championship.
Yeah. You're going for a bold, in-depth prediction there. Yeah. I think they'll go down, but even if they don't, if they finish above 14th next season, I think I'll be very surprised. I can't say them. But I think they're definitely finishing lower.
I think they scored like the least goals this year or this season or something.
Yeah,
or like the second least. They've got no attacking threat, and without Zaha, then they've definitely got no attacking threat.
Yeah,
Jordan Ayew scored the best goal of probably the season.
Yeah.
It's so underrated, that goal.
I love that goal. I'd say that's the goal of the season as well, actually. I was looking at that the other
day. Yeah. And that's all I've seen him do.
Yeah.
I don't think he scored. Benteke is just a lost cause.
Yeah.
And if Zaha goes there.
Yeah, and it's an ageing squad as well, if you think about it. You think about their best players. Zaha's getting on now. And like I said, I don't think he'll stay anyway. Milivojevic
Yeah.
is old, and just Townsend's getting on.
Yeah, their keeper's 34, I think. He's a good keeper. He is.
Good kid. That was a good signing. Be interested to see if they can keep hold of him as well, though, because several teams will be looking for new goalies this summer, including us. I mean, I wouldn't get Glazer, but
no.
I could see a big club getting him as like a backup, maybe a Chelsea or something like that, or I'm not sure, but
yeah,
I think they would maybe struggle to keep hold of him.
Speaking of us, shall we move on?
Yeah, we move on to my fight. I'm debating whether we. I'm debating whether we do.
As we can.
I'm debating whether we do this in a separate video or not. But so we'll touch on it briefly now and maybe do a bit of an in-depth one later.
That sounds good. Right. So the money we've spent, I'm happy with 3 signings, and then there's one that is out for the jury, like you say. Gomez, happy with that. Keane, happy with that. And then Sidibe, happy with that.
Yeah.
That's it. And then I think Aubameyang's up for the jury because he's not played at all.
I'd say Iwobi's also up for the jury. That's what I
not
thought
happy with Iwobi. Not happy with Delph, and I'm not happy.
Definitely not happy with Delph. Not happy with who? Sorry, who's the last one?
Lossell.
Oh yeah. He
I don't even know why we signed him. It's just pointless.
Yeah, it was a weird one, that. But Iwobi, I'm going to be patient with. I'm reserving judgment at least for another season. He hasn't been good enough this season. No, definitely no getting away from that. But I think we
definitely brought a lot of money in. But I don't know whether we spent more or not.
We got quite a bit of gain.
We sold Vlasic for 15, Luckman for 18, Gay for 30, and Onyekuru for 13. So overall, we've got in about about 75 million.
Yeah.
And we spent that on Iwobi and Keane.
Yeah. It wasn't the worst in the world we had.
60.
But I think we define underachievers this season. Maybe us and Arsenal.
Oh, 100%.
But yeah, that team should not be finishing 12th. But
no, not at all.
Similar to Arsenal, it's a transition season. But he brought in a manager exactly the same time as Arsenal. New manager
I think again this next season will be a transition season again.
Well, I don't know. I think we need to hit the ground running this season. I think this is make or break. I genuinely do.
No,
I can't see Ancelotti being patient with it now.
I think it'll be 9th next season. But anyway, we'll move on to that in a different video.
Yeah. Leicester.
So,
wow.
Leicester.
What a weird season they've had.
They were brilliant.
Yeah.
Before lockdown. Tielemans, a lot of money. Brilliant.
Brilliant signing, yeah.
Perez, a lot of money. Decent.
Had a good season, yeah, definitely. I think
James Justin, little bit of money. Brilliant.
Yep.
I'd never heard of him. He's come in for Ricardo Pereira, who's injured and not without a place at all.
Yeah.
For him to come in from Luton and to step up to the Premier League as a backup as well, without any fitness or experience, I think it's brilliant.
But Sionchu wasn't signed this summer, was he? They had him before.
No, last summer.
Yeah,
last summer.
They signed him last summer, and he hardly played.
I think they called him up for the under-23s this season.
But bringing him in to replace Harry Maguire, rather than panicking with the amount of money they've got and overpaying for someone like a Lewis Dunk, for example, was a genius move. One unbelievable bit of saving money that was, promoting from within like that. I
think you've got to take risks like that.
Yeah.
And that risk has paid off exceptionally.
100%. Yeah. Be interesting to see if he can maintain this form for next season, but he's been excellent this year. And really, really good decision.
And again, they spent less money than they brought in, which I'd class as a win.
Yeah, 100%. They should have held on to top 4 And there's no getting
Yeah.
away from the fact that they bottled that. But the fact they were in that position in the first place has to go down as a successful season.
I think I don't think they'll. Next season, I think they'll drop off a lot because of the Europa. I reckon they'll be like us. But I mentioned it before with Burnley. I reckon they'll drop off a bit because they haven't got that much depth. I reckon 8th for them next season.
Yeah, mid-table, 8th or 9th around that place. Yeah, I reckon. Yeah,
Uh,
we're gonna keep this one brief because I can't be asked talking about this lot. But what do we say? They've had a great season. They've done amazingly well. But
again, I think their recruitment team's the best in the world.
Yeah, they might.
There's no doubt in it.
They haven't had enough competition this season, but they have still.
How have they sold Danny Ings for £20 million? Forget this season. This is before this season. He's been on the injury table. He's been like scoring goals occasionally, and they sold him for 20 million. That is ridiculous business.
Yeah, it's like they got like 12 for Loughlin as well, didn't they? Aging defender like that, similar age to someone like Schneiderlin, and we got 2 million for him, and they're both terrible. Like, how have they managed that? The amount of money they can get for players is incredible. There's no getting away from it.
This is what's the difference between the top teams and the teams pushing to be the top like us.
Yeah.
They have a brilliant recruitment team. And we've got brands, but other than that, I don't really know anyone else.
Yeah, and before that,
other than contract days, of course.
And before that, we had Wolves, of course. It was a disaster. But I mean, I'm not entirely sure if they're going to retain the league next season. I think they've got a very good chance. I think they're definitely favourites.
Yeah.
So, but there's no getting away from the fact that this season I've just been brilliant. As much as it pains me to say it.
Yeah. At least he didn't hit 100 points or go unbeaten.
Nope, didn't go unbeaten.
Or have a perfect home record.
Nope.
Thank you, Burnley.
But so yeah, we'll move on from that. Manchester City
underachieved.
Mental as it is, just coming second convincingly. It's still on that team is better than that still somehow.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, the Champions League not over yet.
They did it last season. I thought they were lucky to win it last season. I thought they'd just lose stupid games. Just silly games that they don't.
Yeah.
They just panic a bit. As soon as they get, like Palace, were they 2-0 down last season?
Yeah.
Near Christmas, were they 2-0 down? They just panic and they throw players forward. And I think they got a goal back and then Palace scored again. Because they're throwing players forward at it. Too many players. I think they just... Too urgent, if you know what I mean.
The game against Norwich this season's a perfect example. That was ridiculous. And I don't know. They've just signed that youngster Todd, hasn't they? Which they probably don't need. I think the focus has got to somehow be like still strengthening that defence. Like someone like Koulibaly.
They've sent Ake, haven't they, as well? Well, they've agreed a fee for Ake.
Yeah, he could work wonders in that team. Koulibaly, just a big commanding centre back.
The window before, they brought in Cancelo. Why?
I don't know.
The same age as Walker. So it's not even like he's back up. 60 million. I think Rodri's a brilliant signing.
Rodri was a great signing. Had to do that because of
Fernandinho's. But I don't understand that Cancelo signing. It just doesn't make sense to me. Just weird.
Yeah.
Angelino
see how they get
as well.
on without David Silva.
I think they'll be fine.
It looks like Foden's finally going to make the step up, which I'm excited to see. I think he could really excel. And that's a good story. You know, he's just a local lad. You'd think a team like City, how have they got space for a local lad? But he just seems such a good player.
Yeah.
So,
and I'm looking here. They sold Pablo Mari to Flamengo for 1.5 million. You know who that is?
No.
Pablo Mari, the Arsenal centre back.
Is he Arsenal now?
Yeah. He went off injured, didn't he, against City? First game after lockdown.
Oh, did he? I don't really remember that, to be honest. But...
Well, they sold him, and then Flamengo loaned him out to Arsenal, and then they signed him for 14 million.
Jesus,
They sold him for 1.5.
Yeah, okay, that's poor business, but yeah, that's Manchester City. Manchester United, that was another very odd season they've had as well. The fact they finished third is pretty mental, to be honest.
Yeah, before January, at Christmas time, they looked dead.
Yeah, they had a really
They looked like they were going to get Europa League at best.
Yeah.
Maybe semi-finals of the Europa League. Bruno Fernandes came in, changed everything.
Yeah, I've never known a player change a team around as dramatically as that. He's come in and they look like a different team. Extraordinary.
Crazy.
Yeah.
Absolutely crazy.
Going forward, they look more deadly than they have in ages. Probably going back to the Ferguson days, like Rashford, Greenwood, Martial, all so young.
Rooney, Ronaldo, and Tevez or Berbatov.
Yeah,
you choose.
Whoever you want, yeah. But, and I think defensively there's still a bit of work to be done. But
yeah, I think they need another centre back and a left back.
But Maguire and Wan-Bissaka, as expensive as they were excellent bits of business.
I think Maguire's, they overpaid a little bit too much. I'd have paid 65 max for him.
Yeah, but he's still come in and done a good job, and I think he'll be there for a number of years. So somehow the biggest weakness is goalkeeper. When before in the last 2 years that's been their strong point. I don't know what has happened to Dabadea this season.
It's like he declined after the World Cup. Like that World Cup game when he conceded the goals to Ronaldo. Ever since then he's just gone down.
More ever prone. It's really sad to see because De Gea is probably the best goalkeeper that I've ever seen. I think since I've been watching football, I don't think I've seen a goalkeeper as good as him. He just always seems to have a good game whenever I watched him. So sad to see. And again, I think they'll go with Dean Henderson next season. I genuinely don't.
Another win for them. They freed up the wages as well, didn't they? With Sanchez, he's gone to Inter.
Yep.
So that makes room for a few more players coming in on the wage bill. Yeah, I think that they've done really well getting him off the books because he said he didn't want to leave. He's got a contract with them. He's happy to collect his money. That's genuinely what he said.
It looks like they're going to sign Sancho, which is...
Yeah. I still question about that, but...
It's an odd bit of business, but, I mean...
It could go either way. That's one that could go either way.
Yeah. Well, it'll be intriguing to see him in the Premier League anyway, whether or not he gets to ground running or not. But the Manchester United, the fact they finished third is crazy. I think Solskjaer's got at least another season in the job now.
They deserved it. At the end of the day, they deserved it.
Yeah. Okay, so
Newcastle,
odd season again. They looks like.
I think they've done the best. I think they've had the best and the worst window.
Yeah.
If that's possible.
I mean, Joelinton was an atrocious signing, probably the worst signing of the season.
For him or Keane.
Yeah.
And I know Keane's young, so's Joelinton.
Definitely in the striker position.
Yeah.
Joelinton will take away some of that.
£40 million for Joelinton.
Yeah, it's crazy.
And then obviously he makes their team look like they don't play anti-football.
Yeah.
He just adds creativity. Obviously we're talking about Saint-Maximin.
Yeah. Most exciting playing Newcastle I've had in years, definitely. You look at Ben Arthur, something like that.
Ooh, I liked him.
Yeah.
Blue hot and cold though.
Yeah. Be good to see if he stays a few years when Newcastle can go. But I think we've got to give credit. Steve Bruce looked like a terrible appointment, and it looked like they were going to struggle to stay up. And yet relegation's not even been a threat this season. They've just been solid. 13th. Every Newcastle fan would have taken that.
A bit like us in Southampton.
Yeah. Really.
Other than they've overachieved and we've underachieved. And again, they sold Jose Perez 30 mil. And bought Saint-Maximin for 20.
But
brilliant.
At the same time, bought Joelinton for 40. They also lost Rondon. To be fair, Saint-Maximin's probably the Perez replacement, isn't it? And Joelinton's a Rondon replacement. So Saint-Maximin was a good bit of business. Joelinton was a terrible bit of business, as we've established.
Let's move on to Norwich.
Yeah. What on earth were they? What were they?
I don't know. They were just one of the teams that were just there.
Yeah. It's a shame because they've got really good players, like individual players. Pookie didn't hit the ground running.
He did hit the ground running. He just
ran
into a brick wall.
And then he kind of stopped, yeah. First bit of ground he was thriving on, and then, kind of forgot how to score goals, which is a bit important for a striker.
And then I don't like their manager. I think he's a criminal. He looks like someone who's been to prison at least 3 times.
Looks like a pirate. But that's a bit harsh on him, but I think they'll keep hold of him. And I think they've got the best chance of coming back up out of the 3 teams that have gone down, I reckon.
Yeah, it all depends.
They're the yo-yo club, isn't they? It looks like
because they've got Godfrey, they've got Aarons, Campbell, Pookie, Buendia. 5 players.
How many of them are they holding on to, though? I think Aarons is definitely going.
I reckon they'll keep hold of Pookie and that's it.
Yeah, I think Campbell will probably go. I could maybe Godfrey. Maybe see Godfrey sticking it out.
No. Godfrey's not good. He's had an offer from Milan, AC Milan. Accepted as well. 40 million.
40 million?
40 million pounds.
That's only a bit of good business inside down. He seemed alright, but he's not 40 million worth. That's English premium coming back in there, isn't it?
Yeah.
But yeah, Norwich have just been dreadful this year. They tried to play a style of football. It didn't work. And they'll probably be back next season, and then we'll be talking about them.
Next season, they've signed Kieran Dowell from Everton.
Oh, yeah, they have, yeah. It's not a bad bit of business for them, I think. It's playing on the cheap.
And now we move on to the pick of the bunch.
The pick of the bunch, the main overachievers, I think. If it wasn't for Klopp, easily would scoop up manager of the season. Chris Wilder, what an amazing job he's done.
As good of a season they've had, the last few weeks they look like the team everyone would expect them to be.
Well, not
was expecting them to be.
They've been a lot more inconsistent since lockdown, but
yeah,
I don't think that's really their fault. It's hard to adjust to a period like that. They probably struggled more out of than most. But I mean, we said before about Burnley being a solid unit. That's a definition of Sheffield United. That is some team they've got.
Yeah.
And again, no stars, just solid players that work in a system well.
I think they've done one bit of business that is poor. I think they brought in McBurney. 18 million.
Yeah, he's not.
I don't think that's good, is it?
He's not done great, has he? But
no.
He might do better next season.
Could kick on. You never know.
Yeah, but I think it's about keeping hold of that defence. That's part of it. It looks like
I think they can. I
can't see United giving them Henderson, so they're probably going to have to get a new goalie.
Yeah. But I don't think they're going to go anywhere.
No, I thought they'd go straight back down. But I can't see them going down now, though. I think they'll be like Burnley, solidify. I think 12th or 13th, I think, next season, maybe.
I can't see the defence going anywhere either.
No, I think they'll manage to keep hold of players.
All of them.
Yeah. And,
the only one I can see moving is that Egan fella.
Yeah, maybe.
But that's it.
But yeah, Sheffield United, they're going to kick on, I reckon. So, and then another overachiever.
I don't think they'll do as well as last season, but I think they'll do well. They'll stay up.
And they'll solidify themselves in the league for at least a few years, and then.
Yeah.
But yeah, another overachiever, Southampton. I don't know what we were going to make of them at the start of the season. I don't know. I don't think anyone expects as solid a season that they've had.
No, I know.
Especially after they got beaten 9-0 by Leicester.
After that was like the turning point in their season.
Yeah, somehow. They just.
How can you get battered 9-0 at home and then just play well for the rest of it? It's whack. I really like their manager. I think their manager has a distinct style of play, and he buys players that fit it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
I don't think they've made a bad signing this last window. I think Jay Adams. He's young.
Mm-hmm.
The last few weeks he scored against City, didn't he? And then he scored on the last day as well.
I know he definitely scored on the last day. Really well taken goal.
Yeah, I think him and Danny Ings could form a partnership up front next
Yeah.
season, get a few more minutes. Gempo as well, another
Very
one
good signing.
they signed. And can't fault Southampton.
Yeah.
Can't fault them. Another one of them teams that are just there. Don't
Yeah.
really cause any problems for the big boys, but not relegation threatened.
I fear they might be a bit over-reliant on Danny Ings. I fear that might come into play next season if he doesn't. If he either gets injured or if he struggles to find form. But
Yes, but again, they've got Shane Long as backup. He's decent enough for Southampton, and like I said, Che Adams as well. I think they'll be fine.
yeah, I can't see him going down next season. But
No.
I think this might have just been one season where they overachieve and then they'll slip back down to like 14th,
Maybe, yeah.
15th sort of area.
Yeah.
Yeah. Tottenham. Let's try and plough through these last few. But yeah,
Not
Tottenham,
been good enough. Not been good enough. No, not at all. Their window was awful. Looked good. Their window looked good on paper. They brought in that Jack Clark from Leeds, loaned him straight out. And Ndombele, another good one. Lo Celso and Sessegnon. All three players not really made much difference to their season at all.
Yeah.
And Ndombele looks to be on his way out.
Yeah, Mourinho cannot stand him for whatever reason. So that's just one sign it doesn't work out.
I think he's been saying his work rate's not good enough at all.
Yeah. Lo Celso's not been that great, and neither Sessegnon really.
He could have a year to adapt though, but Sessegnon wasn't really good last season for Fulham either, was he?
Yeah.
I don't know why they signed him. Watford?
Yeah.
Really bad.
Yeah. Whole season. Ridiculous management policy as ever coming back into play. Yeah.
Again. I know I said Bournemouth are terrible, but they're the worst run club in the league.
Oh, but easily. It looked like they worked out what it was. They kept Javi Gracia for like a year and a half. It's like, oh, they're finally going to stop just sacking managers every time they lose a game. But no, what is it? They've been through 4 this season, I think. And they sacked Pearson with 2
Who did they have?
They
had Gracia, Sanchez, Flores, and Pearson 3.
No, and then they had, what was his name? Hayden Mullins for the last 2 games. They sacked Pearson 2 games before the end.
Oh, right, yeah.
Which was a crazy decision. Why would you do that? Pearson might have kept them up. He genuinely might have done. Like, what's the point?
You never
players
know.
aren't going to adjust well to that in time.
I know that must hurt him as well as a person.
It's insulting.
He doesn't look like a soft person, does he? Really?
Yeah. But it's still you can still feel humiliated.
It's still like mentally. It's like, and the players as well. Imagine the morale hit they've taken from 100%. It. Because I reckon out of all the managers Watford have had this season, he was the best one.
Oh yeah, easily.
I think he got that team flowing better than any of them did. I think that result against Liverpool was the bane of my life.
I think lockdown might have been quite damaging for them. I think they had a good run of form going, and I think that kind of disrupted it quite a bit. So it would have been interesting to see if they'd stayed up if lockdown hadn't happened. So
yeah,
that's just a what if, isn't it? And the fact of the matter was they haven't been good enough, and they're another one that I think, like Bournemouth, will kind of just be mid-table Championship next season. Maybe mount a promotion challenge in the next few years, but I'd be very surprised if they come straight back up.
I think Watford will just sneak in the playoffs but lose in the semis.
Yeah, something like that.
West Ham?
Yeah.
Poor. Absolutely. They've had the worst season out of anyone.
Yeah, they probably have it on paper, haven't they? Again, but they have a brilliant window. They are similar to us in that every window...
Did they have a brilliant window?
Well, it looked like they had on paper at the start.
Yeah.
Like, you look at the signings they created, it's like that looks like a good window. West Ham can push on, challenge top half. No relegation battle the whole season. So. Yeah,
they spent silly money on silly players that they didn't really need. Well, they did need Haller, but Fornals, I don't think that was a problem, to be honest.
No.
I think they need full-backs massively. Because that Ngakia didn't sign a contract, did he?
I don't think
So
so.
they now got Cresswell as a left back and
Ryan
Zabaleta,
Fredericks. They signed Ryan Fredericks, didn't they?
Fredericks
It's
as
an
well.
odd signing. I don't really think he's good enough for a team like West Ham. But
It is weird. It's just, and they obviously they signed the worst goalkeeper the Premier League's probably ever seen.
that was mental. I don't know what happened there. They missed Fabianski so much.
How did he play so well against us? He was well good against us, and then
because everyone plays well against us.
What sticks in my head is that Burnley own goal.
Yeah,
Mental.
It cost them every single game.
I don't know how it's doable.
Yeah, I can't believe there's a goalie that bad. It's like out of a comedy show or something like that. Stoustek seems a good signing. He came into his own towards the end.
Yeah, he does seem
and
good.
Mikel Antonio started playing like R9, like Ronaldo. What was all that about?
But I think the main thing about West Ham next season is whether they not keep hold of Rice.
Yeah, like I say, I don't think anyone will sign Rice. I think he'll stay. It looks like they're persevering with Moyes for another season. Well, I think he's done a good enough job to warrant another season at least.
Yeah, well, they looked down and out, didn't they?
Yeah, and he's kept.
I think that win against Chelsea ignited that spark.
Yeah.
I think they've done well.
And then finally Wolves. Again, just what an incredible manager they've got.
It's just crazy how they've had so many hits. Yeah. Every single one of their signings have been brilliant.
Yeah.
Because, like I said, with who did I say it with? Southampton. He knows what style of football he plays, and he knows what players fit into it. Yeah. And he has connections everywhere. That Jorge Mendes, he is massive.
Mm-hmm.
Their scouts must be incredible, like Liverpool's. Jimenez, massive signing. Dendoncker as well. 12 million for him. That's a steal.
Brilliant signing, yeah.
Who else have they signed? Catrone. Have they got rid of him?
I think they have. Yeah.
They sell him or they put him on loan?
I'm not sure. I think he's left. Definitely. He's at the club right now. So.
Pedro Neto, another one.
Yeah.
I think he's been good as well. But there's one thing that people slip off about Wolves. They've sold Courtney Hawes to Villa for $3 million.
Yeah.
I don't know why they did that.
I don't know. I guess they were just desperate to get him out, get him off the wage bill. Probably accepted a low offer.
But he's probably worth 20 million now.
I think what people forget about Wolves is they had a great season last season, but to be fair, based on how good their squad was, because that squad was far too good to go back down again. But they finished 7th last season, which is already an achievement in itself. They finished 7th again this season, but this season they've also had Europa League to contend with, which they're still in.
They're still
in the Europa League.
They win that, then they get Champions League, is it? The Champions League they get?
If they win it. I doubt they'll win it.
No, I know. United
the fact they finished
too
7th, and managing to juggle that, as you touched on before, something we couldn't do before, something that teams like Arsenal can't do. Yeah. And yet they've managed to do it. It's just extraordinary.
It's mental. He is the best man manager in the Premier League at the moment.
Yeah, he probably is.
He's like one of the players.
Yeah.
He's like the captain of the team. It's like he's on the pitch with them.
Yeah.
It's mental.
But yeah.
If he was our manager, I'd be so excited for what's to come.
Yeah, we really wanted him, didn't we? But we couldn't get him when he was still in the Championship. I think we were after him when we sacked Koeman, and he said no. But yeah, if they can keep hold of it,
I don't blame him.
And keep hold of all their top players, then that Wolves team will go from strength to strength.
Do you know what? I genuinely can't. I can't believe they signed Neves in the Championship.
Yeah, it's remarkable.
To this day, that baffles me.
That's what I mean. That Mendes is just a genius. How can he convince these players to sign like he has done? It's just an unbelievable story.
I can't believe it. They are amazing.
Yeah.
They've done in 2 seasons what we've been trying to do for 5, 6 until Moyes left.
Yeah, they've shown how quickly a project can be done if it's done right.
Yeah, hopefully we have that. keep comparing teams to us, and
it's just upsetting because we're just not there.
Yeah. Well, we are Wolves are where we should be.
Yeah.
Where we want to be.
Yeah. I think that's the position that we should be at by now. So ever since Mashiri came in, that's what the aim has been. They've had less time to do it, and they've done it so much better than we have in every single department.
Yeah.
But yeah, we'll quickly just discuss the promoted teams, just see how we think they'll get on.
I hope Fulham go down.
Yeah, I hope Fulham go down. I think they will.
Up.
I think West Brom will probably go back down, maybe. I think they'll have more of a chance of fighting.
I can see West Brom 15th, 14th.
That's what I think Leeds are going to finish.
I don't think they'll. I reckon Leeds will be 12th.
Leeds is an odd one. I don't know. I think that could go either way.
They can either be a Wolves or they can be a Norwich.
Yeah. It'll be interesting to see how Bielsa's style transitions to the Premier League. And like I say, it's got to be done better.
I really like him. I think he's like. I was watching a documentary on him, and he's like the work he puts into it.
Yeah,
he as a manager deserves to succeed more than anyone else.
Yeah, works his just socks off constantly.
Yeah.
But yeah, that was a bloody long video, but
it was indeed. I enjoyed it.
Yeah, it was good. But yeah, this is probably the style of video we'll explore a bit more. Like I said, we'll do a review of Everton at some point, more in depth, like the other ones, because we only briefly touched on that. Otherwise, we would have been sat here all day. So, but yeah, that is our Premier League team review. Very long video for you, and we'll see.
If you've made it to the end, then you get a high five off me.
Yeah, I'm sure that's worth it for them all. But yeah, we'll see what we do next. We don't really have any other plans now yet. But
leave it in the comments. All two of you.
Yeah,
all two of you need to leave it in the comments.
Yeah, we'll do the Everton video at some point or whatever. But yeah, you've been watching the Toffee Waffle podcast, and we will see you later.